my goodness, what? I'm trying to end my video. No! Oh my goodness, why is it every time I do a tutorial something like this happens? The question is, can Roly-Poly do the biffing? Let's find out. What have we got? Is it a terror bird? Oh, the terror bird killed himself on the spikes. And this is why we build base defenses. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the next episode in this ARK beginner's guide on the island, where today I'm going to be showing you how to set up your very first water and electricity network from a PvE beginner's perspective. But first thing is first, a huge thank you to everybody who gave me awesome name suggestions for our brand new farming dinos from the last episode. My favourite for the Moz Chops here was Giga Chad. So we've got Giga Chad the Moz Chops. I went ahead and named the Dodec Roly-Poly and the Beaver Justin. No puns intended there whatsoever. For the Ankylosaurus, my favourite name was Bumps. And last but not least is the Argentavis, who, because of his little gold patch on his head, we're going to go and name Goldie. So huge thanks to everybody who sent in their suggestions for names. Now, we're going to start off with the water supply today. And before we get going, you are going to need to learn yourself some new engrams. If you type in pipe in your engrams there, you will see a whole selection of stone pipes and metal pipes. The metal pipes do have slightly better durability, but they are more expensive. So today I've just gone and learned all of the stone sections here. We can actually craft these in our inventory using stone and wood. And I'm going to craft myself one tap, one intake, a couple of vertical pieces because our water source is slightly lower than ground level, so we're going to need to raise our water network up, sorry. And then I'm going to do two flexible pieces because we're going to want to connect our pipes at different angles today. And the majority of our network is going to consist of these intersection pipe pieces. And that's because it means if we want to expand our water network in any direction, then we can do so. Let me just drag the intake pipe and the vertical pipes onto the hotbar ready to place. We're actually really lucky here in the Redwoods because we have a lake right on our doorstep, so we're not going to have to build our network too far for it to reach the base. I've just got to make sure that I'm not going to get my butt bit by any piranhas because there tends to be a lot of piranhas in here, so we'll just have to see. But you want to grab your intake pipe and you want to pop it into your water source. So that's the first piece that you're going to be placing. And then just so it's visible to everybody, I'm going to put a vertical pipe here and bring the network up and over. Usually I would try and disguise the pipes as best as possible. I'd probably keep them in the water until this point here. But as you can see, I'm bringing it across towards the base. The pipes are blue, which is indicating that water is indeed running through the network. If your pipes are grey, it means water isn't running through it, so you're going to want to adjust your network to make sure everything is connected properly. Another vertical piece here. So if I want to make this look a little bit tidier, I can clip these into the ground. It might take a little bit of time, but I always think it's worth it to have these things well hidden. So it does mean I'm going to have to... Okay, well, let's hope nothing gets into our base, shall we? Because I'm playing vanilla at the moment, I'm going to have to demolish these. But if you are using mods like SS or S+, then it is possible to pick these up and reuse them. But I've made some spares, so we're all good. Oh, please don't eat me, piranhas. Please don't eat me. I'm going to leave my initial intake down here. I've got my cross pieces. I have to make a couple more vertical pieces. So you can see here, it is clipping beneath the ground, and it's going to allow me to place these underground. There is a little bit of guesswork involved with this, so you might have to fiddle around with some of the flexible pipes in order to get everything connected. There will come a point where you're going to need to see what you're doing. So let's see about bringing this above the line again. Now, having a little bit exposed, I think is fine. Certainly looking a lot better than it was anyway. So at this point here, Let me see about kind of disguising. Right. There we go. So there is now a pipe underground here that we technically cannot see that I've just placed. And I'm going to use the flexible pipes to connect these two. Now, they do need to be close enough together for it to work. There we go. We can see the blue connection on either side there. Fantastic. Again, a little bit of guesswork here. But essentially, I'm trying to extend the water system in a discreet way over to our cooking pot. Because if we have our tap right next to our cooking pot, it saves us running around trying to collect water. For every single item that you cook, with the primitive cooking pot, you need 1 flask of water to produce. So in the beginning stages of the game, that's what you'll be doing until you're at the point where you've got an industrial cooker, which is going to be a little bit further down the line. Now, as you can see, it's kind of sticking a little bit out here. I feel like, for the time being, that is going to be acceptable. You can certainly see how it's going to look a lot better than it did before. Grab the tap. The tap is going to clip slightly in the ground, but that's the price we're going to pay. And you can still cover these with foundations and things. I tend to put in my water and electricity network before I actually put my floor in, so I can disguise it. As you can see, can't tell it's even there anymore. Look at that. Well, a little bit, but we'll ignore that. So I think we're ready to maybe have a look at what you should do if you're in a situation where you've built quite far inland and you're not near a natural water supply. You can go and build yourself a reservoir, which will collect water naturally over time, every time it rains or snows. So we've got the stone reservoir. Actually, I'm going to craft that in my own inventory. There we go. Stone and cementing paste. You've also got the metal reservoir as well. We're going to build both so you can see the differences between them. Metal reservoir needs to be crafted inside of your smithy, which requires cementing paste and metal ingots. I'm encumbered because of all the excess stone I'm carrying. So in order to place these down, you're going to need a pipe piece for it to snap to. So intersection pipe piece there, and you can see that the reservoir would snap on any of the corners here. There we go. If you are using this method, I would strongly advise creating several reservoirs because, as you can see, it's only got a 200 capacity, which is really not a lot. So if you have more of them, then you're going to have access to more water every time it rains. The metal reservoir has slightly better durability, just on the off chance it does get attacked by wild, aggressive dinos, or if you're playing PvP, which we're not today, by the way. All of this is done from a PvE perspective, which is worth bearing in mind. If you are playing PvP, you're going to want to make sure that your electrical cables and your water system are a bit better hidden in case of attack from other players. The capacity of this is 500, so if you can afford to do it, I would automatically skip to the metal reservoir. I'm just going to go and pump a point into something, into health. There we go, we gained an extra level there. There is a neat little trick if you do want to fill these without there being rain. If you're on a map where there's very little rain, for example, Scorched Earth, you can fly out of render distance or just move out of render distance. And for some reason, they naturally fill over time. I'm not sure if this is a thing that is intended by Wildcard, but if you would like to take advantage of it, you can. So anytime you go away on a farming mission or whatever you're doing, these will fill over time. And the longer you are away from your base or out of render distance, the more it will have filled up. So I'm going to go probably to the other side of this river will be enough. I'm going to sit there for a little bit and then we're going to skip back to base to see if they filled up. Okay, we're flying back into base now. Let's see how much these are filled up by. 3 out of 500 and 3 out of 200. So not by very much, but you can imagine if you're away for an extended period of time, then it is going to make a difference. And there we have it. At its most basic, that is how to connect a water supply. And we're going to be moving on to electricity now. And in order to start with electrical items, we are going to need to learn the Fabricator Engram, which is a new crafting bench. Learns at level 48. This fabricator is made inside of the smithy, and it requires cementing paste, crystal, metal ingot, oil, and spark powder. The fabricator is powered by gasoline, which you can create by adding oil and hide into your forge. It produces, I think it produces 1 gasoline per like 20 seconds. It's the same rate as you would convert metal ore to ingots anyway, so it doesn't take very long. I'm going to pop my fabricator outside for now. My base is... it's getting a bit cramped. I think we're going to be spending a bit of time expanding that, which I'm planning on doing on a live stream as well. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a bit. But for now, I'm just going to put the fabricator outside. There we are. Sit it on here. It's probably going to look about the same size as our tiny hut. Let's have a look. Yeah, pretty much. But it will do for now, for the purposes of the tutorial. So I just need to pop the gasoline inside and turn it on. It is as simple as that. And in here, we're going to be crafting all of our electrical supplies and all of the things that we need to create our electrical grid as well. But first, we're going to need to go and learn some new engrams. We are going to need to learn the generator at level 49. This is where our power is going to be produced. And then we are going to need to learn all of the electrical cable pieces. These are going to be responsible for carrying the power to our electrical... I always forget what this one's called. Electrical outlet. There we go. The electrical outlet we're going to need to learn as well. And this is the box or the junction that is going to provide power to our appliances. I'm going to demonstrate to you today with the refrigerator, which is a really useful thing to learn at this stage at level 60, because at the moment I am just using the preserving bin to store our food. And whilst this does decrease the spoil timer on our foods, the fridge is much better at doing that. I'm also going to go ahead and learn a light or a lamp post. There we go. Lots of different structures are powered by electricity, but these are probably some of the first ones that you're going to use. Do the omnidirectional as well. There we go. And in order to craft these things, we are going to need to make some electronics, which are made using silica pearls and cementing paste. If you're not sure where to find silica pearls from at this stage, you can find some in abundance on the edges of the snow biome, where you've got all the icebergs. You tend to find them in shallow water. You can also find them in deeper water as well. You can also get electronics in their kind of refined state by killing and farming tech dinos all across the map. So I have already learnt the engram for electronics. I do need metal ingot as well, I beg your pardon. Metal ingot we should have plenty of in here. It's pretty heavy, that's the only thing. Pretty damn heavy. Let me just split that stack a sec. And maybe move the wood in here. There we go. If you can, build your crafting stations close together so that it's easy to move things between them. There we go. Metal ingot. Electronics. We will craft 66 of those, and I will sit tight until that is done. And there we have it, almost done. Which means we can start crafting the things we need. Generator. Refrigerator. We need polymer as well. I'm using soft polymer at the moment for this. You can craft hard polymer with obsidian and cementing paste, but I find it much easier just to go out and gather organic polymer by killing and farming penguins or Hesperornis. I'm going to grab that from the preserving bin. Okay, refrigerator. There we are. Let's build a lamp as well. Let's build a couple of the electrical outlets. And then for our cables, again, we're going to be primarily using the intersection cables. Do like 10 of those. Do a couple of verticals and maybe a couple of the flexible ones as well. We do have these inclined ones, which can be useful if you want to kind of change the level at which your network is sitting. These cables function very much the same as the water pipes do when we're using them. Do you know what I'm going to do as well whilst we're waiting for this? Just because I'm a bit fussy, I'm going to put some stairs in just to make it look a little bit neater. But I have to jump up every time I want to access it as well. Don't forget to turn your fabricator off when you're finished as well, because it will burn through fuel unnecessarily. And I think we're going to set up our electrical network over here just so you can clearly see. I'm going to put it outside the base just for today. And we'll do a kind of similar setup to the other side, I think, for now. All of this is going to change on the live stream that I'm going to do on Friday. We're going to expand this area and make it look a little bit neater. But if you are looking to set up your electrical network, the very first thing you are going to need to place down is going to be your generator. And again, the generator is fueled by gasoline, but it does need to be on all of the time in order to power your things all of the time. So one gasoline will power, on default settings, one gasoline will power your generator and appliances for 1 hour. So it is always best, just so you don't forget, to make sure you fill it up. For now, I'm just going to put 1 stack in. It is on, as you can tell by the lights there. You can hear the sound as well that it's on. There are a few ways that you can extend your network to where your appliances are. You can either use a vertical pipe, has a couple of snapping points on the generator here. This is the most obvious one. As we can see, the cable is yellow at the moment, which means that power is running through it. If power was not running through it, it would be black. And then we can run cables wherever we like. We can run them up here if we so wish. Just for purposes of visualization, I'm going to do that for the time being. I'm going to pop my fridge here. Even with the fridge right next to the generator, it would still need an electrical outlet in order to supply it with electricity. Just put that there. As you can see, it says unpowered at the moment. So in order to power that, we need to attach our electrical outlet to any of the snapping points on these cables here. As you can see, there's several of them. I'm going to put it here so you can see really clearly. And we know it's powered because we have a little wire connecting the outlet to the appliance. The appliance now says powered, and we've got those green lights on the bottom there. So there we have it. In its most simplest form, that is how you set up an electricity supply. But again, it would be nice to kind of hide some of these structures a little bit. So the other thing you can do is you can actually sit the electrical cables underneath the generator as well, and that will still connect it. So you don't need to use the vertical pipe if you don't want. Let me see. Again, a little bit of guesswork required here for this to work. Place it under there. Power box. And there we have it. I think that's probably about as neat and tidy as we are going to get it today. Let's put the light in as well, just to finish it off. Just to show you that the electrical outlet box can indeed connect multiple appliances. I believe you would need to place one of these down every 4 foundations. That's its reach or its limit. And again, it says powered. I can turn it on to now. And folks, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Oh my goodness, what? I'm trying to end my video. No! Oh my goodness, why is it every time I do a tutorial something like this happens? The question is, can Roly Poly do the biffing? Let's find out. What have we got? Is it a terror bird? Oh, the terror bird killed himself on the spikes. And this is why we build base defenses. Right. I'm going to try that again. Thank you to everybody who has been watching. I really appreciate it. If you do want to like and subscribe, if you enjoyed the content today, if you found it useful or helpful, that would be great. And if you want to catch me in the meantime, you can find me over on Twitch every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday at 2 PM GMT. And this Friday, I will be doing a very special live stream over there where we will be building upon and expanding this base. So folks, thank you very much. And until next time, see you later.